Shinzo Abe! The friendship lives on. To be continued. I have to admit, these are by far my favorite of the recent Trump memes. And to be honest, at first I didn't really get it. This is the former Prime Minister of Japan for years. He was in office from 2012 to 2020. He was later assassinated 2 years later when he was out of office. But even with that information, I was still confused why there were so many Shinzo Abe and Trump memes. Specifically, Shinzo from the afterlife apparently saving Donald. I'll accept the headcanon of Shinzo appearing to Trump as a Force ghost. But then I came to find out they actually had quite a close friendship. Like, just Googling Abe and Trump, there are countless photos of them together, including photos where they looked pretty happy. Like, I'm sure a lot of it was political, yeah, but I think they did end up bonding a bit. Just a couple of bros enjoying the sumo wrestling contest. Donald looking at an old photo. Not today, old friend. Apparently, a 10-mile-per-hour gust of wind was blowing that pushed away the bullet from Trump's head. A divine wind. A kamikaze. I don't know how true that is, but it would be crazy just because of the Japanese and their divine wind. Remember that divine wind is also the thing that saved the Japanese from that Mongolian Empire invasion. The attempts on my life have left me scarred and deformed, he says on the Senate floor. I forgot this is what happened to Emperor Palpatine. It's really how they explained why he looked like that. In all seriousness, I think Biden will be very shaken by these events. He's seen this happen before, from Reagan in 1981 to Kennedy in 1963, and of course Julius Caesar, 44 BC. Don't forget how long he's been around. And don't forget the worst assassination he probably remembers. I mean, he was there for it. Imagine Trump getting shot and his security yells, "Donald, duck!" I'm so mad that I thought this was funny, but I feel like 10 years people trying to make this joke work. This is the first time it actually does. Finally, we've done it. Biden and Trump have talked on the phone, White House says. OMG, who do you think broke no contact? They're so freaking messy. A toxic relationship. It reminds me of like during the debate when Trump was like,
I've seen you swing, I know you swing.
Was it casual when he knew his swing? The emojis. They probably have been secretly golfing together. The most insane new keychain just dropped from Shinzo Abe to JFK to, well, now, yeah. Who made this too? This dropped like a day after. I just really wish they would have put Shinzo in the middle so it would have been like historically accurate, you know, JFK first and then, yeah, downward. Everything else is accurate though, apparently, where they placed the, well, in terms of JFK, they hit him two times. Oh, see, this is so perfect. The placements are spot on. The term Civil War in English translated to German, which is apparently Bürgerkrieg. Okay, I think we can predict that maybe the entire German language came up with this phrase around 1861 to 1865, because then this Bürgerkrieg would start to make a whole lot more sense.
Bürgerkrieg.
Wow, I'm mispronouncing that horribly. I'm sorry.
Bürgerkrieg.
Jeez. Bürgerkrieg. Honestly, sometimes I think the Germans are more obsessed with hamburgers than we are. England are going to Berlin. This tweeted out July 10th, but a phrase that was also repeated by Churchill in 1945. Unfortunately, English going to Berlin wasn't the same as Churchill going to Berlin. England here actually took the L here this time when they went to Berlin. Spain won the finals. Yesterday, a girl at work said, "I just don't want the colonizers to win. Go Spain!" about the Euro final this weekend. Again, this is why I make videos. Just to do everything I can to stop this right here. Imagine thinking the Spanish Empire was not also colonizers. And you know what? Funny enough, they were actually some of the best. Like, I would rank them at least in the top 3 greatest colonizers of all time. Maybe I shouldn't have phrased it like that, but they had a very big empire, obviously. I think a vast majority of the world outside of Latin America, of course, forget that the Spanish Empire was so big because they lost all their territory like 200 years ago versus the British, who only lost it like a little bit over 50 years ago. This account saying there were 2 things we're playing for today in the Euro final. Spain versus England were obviously competing for this cup here, yeah. But I think they were also playing for this little area known as Gibraltar, which is currently owned by the English in the Iberian Peninsula, but they might have to give back now. Spain should have just said, we don't even want the cup, just give us Gibraltar now. I believe in Southern Europe supremacy. We're talking Portugal, Spain, the south of France, Italy, the Balkans, with all their great culture, architecture, history, wine, sport, basically the Roman Empire. The Nordics just can't compete, I guess, and this is all too true more than ever now currently, since if you look at the list of winners from this European European soccer tournament. It's been Greece in 2004, Spain, Portugal, Italy, and now Spain again in 2024. I guess it actually is fair to say they are superior at this. You won the Euros? Asks England. Sure, you haven't, responds Greece. I guess England actually has not, but even little old Greece has, which I was just learning about was a crazy story. Speaking of colonizers though, this is exactly how the Europeans were able to so easily colonize the indigenous Americans. Look at all this drip, look at all this flexing. Oh my goodness, he was even mewing on them. I really want to know what this was all about. Well, who made this? Is that it was that easy? I want context, but I'm afraid to ask. Joe Biden says, I'm going to put Japan and Korea back together.
We're going to get Japan and Korea back together again.
Literally no one. Then there's Joe Biden, who is apparently a Japanese imperial nationalist or something. He wants to bring back that old World War II Japan and give Korea back together again.
No, essentially having hostilities toward one another since the end of World War II.
I know what he means, but I'm sure Emperor Hirohito is looking down smiling right now. My family photoshopped my cat Mao on Mao Zedong a few years ago. Whenever I have anybody new in my room, they just stare at it and I have to explain. I don't even need any explanations. This is something that I would do. I need a cat right now and name him. You know what? Let's just move on. This would have been a lot better. But speaking of historical leaders that you should never name your cat after, never name your cat after anyone in the BTS boy band. Obviously Jungkook as the main vocals, but also V and Jimin. Then there's Suga, RM, and Jin. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but I really like how they all have like each their own individual look. They like really separating themselves from the others. No, for real. This is actually the former communist dictator of Cambodia, who is arguably one of the worst dictators of all time. If you want to ruin your whole day, just go down that rabbit hole. Just kidding. Don't. Brunei is an absolute monarchy. Cambodia, monarchy, but power rests with warlord. East Timor, a tribal council. Indonesia, a flawed democracy. Laos, a military dictatorship. Malaysia, democracy dominated by race politics. Myanmar, junta, civil war. Philippines, 100 families, democracy. Singapore, one dominant party. Thailand, a junta. And finally, there's Vietnam, a one-party system. The Southeast Asian countries absolutely giga-chad when it comes to governments. If you want to put life on insanely hard mode, this is where you want to move to. That's actually not entirely true, but I did like that tweet. There's actually some very nice places in this part of the world, but the governments, yeah. I know that sometimes we fight, says Spain to Argentina, two winners of their soccer tournaments, but how rich when we make fun of France together. It's the only thing that pulls Spain and Argentina even closer, because they do kind of have a little bit of a rivalry. At least they both aren't apparently in France, so that's nice. I'm Chiang Kai-shek, and that means I lead a unified Chinese front against the Japanese Empire during World War II. Dude, I'm Mao Zedong. I don't care. I'm gonna take your crap and then oof you. Yeah, that's pretty much what happened too. And now look at him being named after cats. And he's actually sitting right behind me. Yo, dude, I'm Eastern European too. Like totally based in corruption, Max, bro. Just like the TikTok meme. Meanwhile, this Pole's salary, $1,900 versus Georgia, Moldova, Bulgaria, and Bosnia, looking back at them with a salary of $300. I don't think they're very amused. I didn't realize there was this much infighting happening in Eastern Europe, I guess. I guess this is why Poland should actually be classified as Central Europe. The sphere has melted, but it's expected to make a full recovery. I will straight up refuse to buy Civilization 7 if the sphere isn't a wonder. This would literally be the greatest wonder in the game's entire history. And it's been around for like 30 years. I don't even like to build wonders in Civilization games, but I would build the sphere in literally every campaign. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be showing you guys how to copy and paste. Firstly, let's learn about control. Yeah, whatever, 10-minute video. How about India, who's just like Control plus C, Control plus V. Thanks for watching. India just gets straight to the point with their YouTube video tutorials, and that is exactly why they're credited and beloved by so many on this website. There's no extra BS. They're just gonna get right to the point. Honestly, they've been doing a better job than teachers for the most part since 2004. It's always funny seeing people do the Churchill drinking challenge, and after getting blitzed in the middle of the day, conclude that Churchill was just built different and not that he had a horrendous drinking problem. Wait, there's a Churchill drinking challenge? Talk about fastest way to destroy your own liver. Trump calls Boeing a big disappointment. Oh my goodness. It all makes sense now. I think we've finally come to the bottom of what's all happened. How many people have Boeing taken out at this point? Speaking of which, the Nothing Ever Happens community has been real quiet lately. The people online that are convinced that nothing of historical significance happens anymore, which has just been absolutely insane to me. But wait a second. I actually have seen seen them double down. They're like, yeah, he's fine. Nothing ever happens. Crazy. They literally took this as an absolute win, apparently. Honestly, it's beginning to just go too far. I actually like the memes more that are like, I'm tired of living through historically significant events all the time. We've just been through so much. Do not, I repeat, do not get your ears pierced at Claire's. I almost did this once, a long time ago. They do it basically for free, but the pain that they'll put you through and all the PTSD won't be able to pay for all the therapy you'll need afterwards. I've heard a lot of horror stories. Joe needs to upstage him. He's got to come out as bisexual. That would do it. Honestly, if he wants to retake the headlines, it's that easy. The boys trying to get me in the car after Applebee's cuts me off my $1 Long Island iced teas. I've had this happen before. I know exactly what he's feeling right now. Those drinks are really watered down, though, I will say. Hey, look, this guy just tweeted out 8K resolution paper textures for free you can use. This is actually really nice and really high quality. Yes, good. Wait, who would say Slender Man? Wait, this seems to have epically backfired. Whatever you do, just don't give him papers. This trailer for the new Wicked movie, apparently. I hope we get cameos from some of the cast of the original 1939 film. You seem to be forgetting something. Just a little tiny problem with that request. I mean, maybe there's some like PA they could use that was on the film, but they were definitely not on camera. Or maybe one of the little kids in the background. Oh, even all the munchkins are gone. Jeez. They literally all have I guess that wasn't an outrageous request because the last one was pretty recent, but I have 3 World Cups. What do you have, says Argentina. A stable currency, responds Colombia. You might have taken an L in this soccer game, Colombia, but at least you didn't take the L permanently in life. I'm sorry, I didn't mean I like Argentina. Socks with sandals, how dare you, versus socks with sandals, Japan. Actually, it do be like that. It's okay here, but apparently nowhere else. Tell me how this is fair. Meanwhile, Amelia Earhart's final moments be like, oh, look at that. Just surrounded by the most beautiful animals, completely tearing her apart. You gotta love coconut crabs. Maybe she did love coconut crabs before this moment, but I don't know. That's just a theory. A crab theory, maybe? Big ol' thanks to my patrons. Drew's Argentinian grandpa. Lucas, the Canadian Goose from Avoca.
Drew har förvisats från Sverige för brottet att vara dans.
Amateur Archaeology. Sarsath. Carmel Saida. DaBeautiful-MEGAN-Underwood. Fredrik Tibblin. Your dad back with the milk. Look out, InquisitorXarius. Sebby, if you hear this, and Tambre.